Coach AK here with Transformed Health Initiative. Just coming to you again with another Q&A with Coach AK. So I told you guys in the last video that at least on Fridays, once a week, I'm going to drop a video discussing a specific question that I've either been asked throughout the years or I've been asked recently by clients, or just conversations I have online with people discussing different things about nutrition and fitness and lifestyle, health, sleep, anything that you guys have, any questions that I get regularly. I feel like it can help the bigger population rather than just keeping it to my clients and keeping it just to the conversations I have, because I know a lot of people, for whatever reason, are apprehensive to reach out, to ask questions, to try to find information, or maybe they've, gotten burned by people or just gotten, false information. And so they're a little leery of trusting people and, putting themselves out there. So, like I said, I figure I will go ahead and start just answering some questions in video form so that way more people can have access to, tested information, evidence-based information, and, just years, decades of experience and research and study and all the above. So today's question that I'm going to cover is relevant again to the time that we're in. Today's December 1st, 2023. So as you know, a lot of people are right in the midst of the holiday season, the getting together, the eating, the, everything that gets, everything that's done during this time. So right around the corner from now, we have January, and we all know that as soon as December comes around, usually the end of December, everybody gets hype. We start dropping these New Year's resolutions and, just having all these ambitious plans to achieve all these different things, to improve our health, to improve our relationships, to make more money, so on and so forth. And a lot of those things I don't really touch on, but what I do touch on is health and fitness. So the question is, what do I feel about New Year's resolutions? Should they be done? Should they not? What's the deal with New Year's resolutions? So a lot of you have probably set New Year's resolutions, at least at some point, if you're anywhere over 15. And you may not know the statistics as far as New Year's resolutions and as far as the success rate or failure rate. So what I did is I did a little bit of research just to kind of refresh my memory, because I wanted to be a little more specific on the actual success rates and fail rates of New Year's resolutions, particularly when it's based in the nutrition fitness world. So from the Fisher College of Business, sorry, I'm looking over my notes right here. From the Fisher College of Business, they report that there is approximately a 91% fail rate, only a 9% success rate when it comes to New Year's resolutions. Approximately 23% of people quit by the end of the first week of January. This is a week after starting their resolution. 43% quit by the end of January. So 1 month in, 4 weeks in, almost half people quit by then. And then obviously the numbers just get worse and worse and worse. By the end of the year, only 9% approximately actually succeed or keep their New Year's resolutions that they started with. A Time magazine article I found, they state that as many as 80% of people fail by February. So again, high fail rate early on. And they report that only about 8% of people stick with it throughout the entire year. And then the last source I have is Inc.com. It's an article by a man named Marcel. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name, so sorry, I'm not going to butcher it, so you're welcome. He reports that 41% of Americans make resolutions, so almost half of our nation makes resolutions, millions and millions of people. And out of all those millions and millions of people, only about 9% actually succeed with their resolutions, and most people quit by January 19th, according to his statistics and his research. So that's 3 to 4 weeks. At least half, if not more, usually more people have already quit trying to accomplish their New Year's resolutions by middle to end of January. So as we see, the statistics as far as success rate and failure rate really is not in our favor when it comes to New Year's resolutions. So, just based on the data, based on experience, based on talking to, hundreds and hundreds of people throughout the years, it's pretty easy to come to the conclusion that maybe New Year's resolutions aren't the best bet. But with that being said, that doesn't mean that it's not possible. Obviously, we see that there is a small success rate, but I believe if people were better prepared and they kind of had a little bit more insight on what to do and what not to do, maybe we would see that 9% increase. So, what I'm going to do is to answer this question, I want to go a little bit more in depth because I know, again, this is pressing, a month from now. And I know that a lot of people, obviously, around half, if not more, of our country sets New Year's resolutions. So, as I said, I want to go in a little bit more depth to kind of set you guys up for success, help you win on purpose. And I'm going to give you a list of do's and don'ts. It's just a few things, not nothing extensive, just a few things that you can keep in mind as this time is coming up, because you guys know 1 month is going to go by super fast, and then here we are. It's January, New Year again. So I'm going to start with some don'ts. This is just my suggestion, recommendations based on my experience and education, so on and so forth. So, what you don't want to do, number one, is to set unrealistic expectations. So, a lot of people start off, they're like, you know what, I need to lose 50 pounds. I need to lose 50 pounds. So, my New Year's resolution is to lose 50 pounds this year. That's an awfully high goal to aim for, especially if it's just 50 pounds and, it's not broken down or anything. That can be very difficult to actually accomplish when our goals are much higher than what's realistic for us. Another don't is don't wait till the last minute to make plans. So this is probably one of the biggest reasons why I see people fail at New Year's resolutions is they tend to wait until the last minute. So we get all caught up in the holiday season, we get caught up in the hustle and bustle, and then next thing you know, it's the last week of December, and it's like, oh man, I need to, okay, what's my resolution going to be? It's going to be, again, to lose 50 pounds. Okay, so now there's no game plan, there's nothing. It's just, oh, okay, well, I just need to quit eating these things and just work out all the time, and it's going to work. Usually not a good idea. Another don't would be don't go out and eat like a crazy person all of December, because you know that as soon as the new year hits, you're done with all that. It's a new year, new you, and you're going to, just kill it on your diet. So, hey, you might as well get as much as you can in before that happens, before you give it all up. You got the parties and the events and all this, people bringing food to work and so on and so forth, sweets and junk food everywhere. And it's like, oh, I might as well capitalize because I'm not going to have it again. Usually not a good idea. The last one I'm going to give is don't compare this time to last time. So again, many of us have had New Year's resolutions, and many of us have failed at these resolutions. So we can easily go into new goals in a new season and compare it to the last season. So as soon as times get a little bit hard, as soon as we slip up a little bit, it's, oh, well, here we go again. I blew it again. It's the first, it's day 3. I already messed up because I forgot. Hey, it's just like last time. Hey, we'll chalk it up and we'll try again 2025. Not a good idea. So now just go into a few of the do's. So these are the things that will put you in a better position to succeed if you do set New Year's resolutions, and will just make the whole experience and journey much, much easier on you. So number one, and these are not in order by number, it's just going down the list. Number one, do set realistic and achievable short and long-term goals. So, for example, say this year I need to lose 50 pounds, or I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, well, I'm mapping out a year, 12 months, that I want to lose that 50 pounds. So, not even, let's see, 12, 24, 36, 48. So that's about 4 pounds a month, a little bit over 4 pounds a month, every month of 2024 to lose that 50 pounds. So now I've already broke down my long-term goal, into shorter term goals of about 4.5 pounds per month, much more feasible than just 50 pounds, on my plate to lose. So now I can break that down to, okay, I need to lose about a pound per month in order to achieve this within this amount of time. Okay, now I have a really, really detailed plan and goal to achieve. Okay, if I'm losing around a pound, pound and a half per week, and I do that every week, then I'm going to hit my goal. So setting achievable, realistic, smaller goals that compound into your bigger goal is going to put you in a much better place to succeed than just having a huge goal that you don't really know how to commit to, or you're just overwhelmed because 50 pounds, that's a lot. That's a huge transformation. So set those small goals. Next thing you know, time will go by. It'll be another 12 months, just like this year went by. And you get on the scale. Hey, I lost 48 pounds. Man, I'm right there at my goal. Sweet. Success. Number 2, start planning now. So there's a few ways that you can go about this. One, obviously, you need to have a plan set of how you're going to achieve these goals. So don't just say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year. I'm going to lose a pound per week. And then that's it. I'm going to figure it out when it gets here. You want to start planning now while you have time, while you're rational, while you're fed. If you start planning after you already start dieting, you're probably not going to have the most logical plan put together. So if you start when you're not dieting, you start when you're comfortable, you can really think and rationalize what's going to work for you and what's not. You could determine what your maintenance calories are if you're going to be tracking calories and macros. Establish that now. So that way, whenever it's go time, January 1st hits, you don't have anything to figure out. You already know, okay, I need to be eating about this much protein, this much carbs, this much fats, this many calories, this much fiber. And this is going, if I eat this amount, I'm in this deep of a deficit, it's going to produce that 1 to 1.25 pounds of weight loss per week. Boom, right on plan. Your training plan. Obviously, training, exercise should be a huge part of your transformation goal. So, have a plan for how you're going to train. How many days a week are you going to go to the gym? How many days are you going to lift? How many minutes of cardio per week do you plan on doing? Just the more of these little details that you can nail down and really lock in, the less guessing there is, the less being overwhelmed, because now it's just, I have this plan mapped out. I'm going to stick to it and I'm going to get the results. And if something happens and it doesn't work out the way I'm planning it to, I can always make adjustments, change the plan, don't change the goal, and just keep trucking forward. So start planning now. Another thing that you can do is to pair enjoyable exercise with your diet. So a lot of people will only focus on diet. I'm just going to cut out these foods. I'm going to drop my calories to this amount, and that's it. And so they're like, oh, I might work out, blah, 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 stay active, so on and so forth. Like everybody says, move more, eat less. But not having an actual, exercise plan, something you enjoy, you're really going to put yourself in a position that results probably aren't going to be that great. And you're going to be a lot more miserable because you're going to have to eat way less than if you actually moved around and were active and exercised. So, pairing enjoyable exercise. Notice how I put enjoyable in there. So not just, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week and grind it out on the weights and the Stairmaster and the treadmill. And, I'm going to take all these fitness classes and I'm just going to do this thing. If you don't like that stuff, you're not going to stick to it. So you need to make sure that your activity, that your exercise is something that's enjoyable. If it's riding bikes, if it's playing a sport, if it's weightlifting, if it's fitness classes, if it's just walking around the neighborhood, walking your dog with your family, if it's playing with your kids at the park, whatever it may be, make sure that you pair that with your diet. So that way you're expending more calories, obviously expending more than you're consuming, and you're going to just improve your health in all aspects. Lifting is great for hundreds and hundreds of different benefits for us. So adding in that exercise that you enjoy, that you can sustain, will really help you stay on track even with your diet. Because when we exercise, we tend to do better with our eating. When we start skipping the gym and skipping the workouts, we tend to do worse with our eating. So they kind of go hand in hand, and they definitely go hand in hand when it comes to getting the best results that you can get. Next up is have an accountability partner or a community around you. So this one, I cannot express how important this one is and how many people I see fail because they do not do this. They don't find themselves an accountability partner or a community or something that they can plug into that's going to keep them accountable. So this can be in many different forms and in ways. It can be, a coach, hiring a coach. It could be a spouse. It could be a friend. It could be one of your kids. It could be a Facebook group or a work group. You say everybody in the office has this goal to improve their health. So everybody's checking in with each other and you see each other at the office slapping donuts out of each other's hand, so on and so forth. So having that accountability, having that community, having at least somebody that's over you that's saying, hey, are you making the right choices? How was your eating this week? How was your sleeping? How was your exercise? Asking you these questions and holding you accountable to what you planned yourself. Because remember, this is your plan. This is your goal. No one's making you do it. This is your choice and you deserve it. So having that person remind you of those things consistently can be the biggest game changer. You try to go at this by yourself, it only takes one thing in life to happen, one time your schedule getting thrown off, one time something bad popping up that can lead you right back down to stress eating and right back into, saying, oh, forget the gym, oh, forget eating healthy, I'm just gonna just go all out to feel better. Man, that accountability partner, when you can reach out to them and say, hey, I'm struggling, I just really don't even want to do this anymore. And they can remind you, no, let me remember why you decided to do this. Remember why this was important to you. Remember why you committed yourself to this. You remember what you're going to lose or what you're going to risk if you don't achieve this. Man, it can literally be the game changer. So accountability partner. Next, share your plan with the public. So obviously all this does, well, not all this does, but a big benefit of this is it gives even more accountability rather than just one person or a small community. If you have 1,000 followers on social media and you're like, hey, I'm making a plan to improve my health and to better myself, and I'm going to commit to, this type of diet, I'm going to commit to this much exercise, and I'm going to post my journey online so you guys can see it and stay in touch with it and give me motivation and inspiration and accountability. This can be a huge thing. Plus, it's just holding yourself accountable. When you put yourself out there and put your name on something, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to show you guys, it gives you a whole new fire whenever you're struggling or when, times are difficult or when hunger is high or when energy's low. And you can say, oh, you know what? People are watching. Not that we're trying to impress anybody, but just, hey, I want to be a person of my word. And so knowing that people are watching your journey, knowing that people are being inspired by your journey and motivated by your journey, that can really help you stick with it when things get difficult. So share your plan with the public. Social media is a great tool for that. The last tip that I have today, as far as do's when it comes to New Year's resolutions, if you decide to set a New Year's resolution, is to plan. I get a little excited because this one is huge and it's so looked over and underestimated just how beneficial this step can be. And that is to plan for slip ups. Now, it might sound crazy to you. It might sound counterintuitive to, well, why would I plan for slip ups? I don't plan on slipping up. Like, I'm going to do this. I need to do it. I need to commit to it. I've slipped up before. I don't want to do that again. Why would I plan for it? And the reason why is because we have to be logical. We have to be rational. And the fact is, if you commit to something, especially over a year span, there's going to be times where you come up short. There's going to be times where you make the wrong choice. There's going to be times when you cave in and eat that stuff. There's going to be times where you cave in and skip the gym because you're tired. There is going to come times where you slip up off of your plan and you're not perfect. None of us are. So when you plan for this doesn't mean like, hey, every Thursday I'm going to mess up my diet on purpose to help myself succeed. Obviously not what I'm talking about. But planning in the sense of, what am I going to do when X happens? What am I going to do when Y happens? What is the plan when I do slip up? And I have, that whole rack of cookies because I've been looking at it for 2 weeks that my kids haven't finished yet. Or, the work event where somebody brings something and you're just starving and forgot your food at home. Whatever the case may be, what is going to be your game plan to get yourself out of that situation? Because so many times that's all it is for most people is they are gung ho, they have all the motivation in the world, they are fired up, and then all of a sudden the slip up comes and it's unexpected. They had high hopes for themselves and high standards for themselves, and then the slip up happens. And then there's those thoughts of, you know what, I already messed up. Oh man, what am I going to do now? Well, I might as well just have a little bit more since I've already messed up. The next thing you know, another day or two goes by and you're still making these same excuses. And then we end up just giving it all up and saying, forget it. So when you plan for these slip ups, when you plan for these mistakes, you can pick yourself back up immediately and keep trucking forward. You can say, you know what? I messed up. I slipped up. I didn't stick to it this time, but I don't have to stop here. This one meal, this one binge, whatever it may be, is not going to destroy all of my success, and it's not going to determine my future success. So when you have that mentality, that's a no-lose mentality. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. You're going to pick yourself back up. You're going to get back to it. You're going to still succeed no matter what happens. So put yourself in a position to succeed, as I always say. Set yourself up to win on purpose. So I hope this information helps somebody. Like I said, this is one of the longer ones. There will be questions where it's just a quick answer, not much feedback, not much information to give. This is one that, there's a lot of research out there on New Year's resolutions. And just, like I said, so many people make these plans. So many people have set New Year's resolutions. And again, maybe 9% of those people actually succeed at them. So if that's you and you failed at New Year's resolutions and you're deciding this year to set one, don't feel like you can't do it. Just know that you have to have a good plan. Okay, just to kind of recap the do's, set realistic, achievable, short-term and long-term goals. Have an accountability partner or an accountability community that you can lean on and find strength and encouragement from. Share your plan with the public on social media, wherever it is. Get it out there. Put that accountability on yourself. Have something to prove to yourself and to everybody else who is watching you and expecting you to keep your word. And last up, plan for slip ups. Don't wait until it all till you mess up and then have the all or nothing mentality of I'm just gonna forget it. Have a plan, stick to it, pick yourself up, and keep going. You can do this. If you guys need anything, if you need help setting up your plan, if you need help as you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, what will work this time, what won't, feel free to reach out if you have any more questions. Also, I will have a few spots open. I have about 2 spots open of in-person training at Crunch Fitness. And then I have a few spots online open for people who aren't members or can't make it there. And I do full online programming from nutrition to fitness, exercise progression, so on and so forth. So if you guys need or want someone to be accountable to hold you accountable, and you want to invest in yourself and make sure that you achieve your goals, feel free to reach out and we will get started on it right away. I love you guys. You guys be safe. Have a great weekend. Again, plan ahead, plan to win. Love y'all. Peace.